Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to yet another Destiny 2 video, and today I'm going to be showing you a guide on how to get past that rough patch of power leveling right around 280 and of course eventually get yourself over to 300 power level, and that's going to be very important for the raid. Now before we get into the meat of the video, I want to share a lot of the tips that I think are going to be very important and are going to help you guys out tremendously when leveling up. Additionally, I've seen a lot of other videos on YouTube and they're just extremely long, and I don't think you guys have the patience to just wait and get the info. So here we go. So number one, spend the vast majority of your glimmer on random mods from the gunsmith. Once you reach max glimmer, which is about 100,000, spend roughly 70k on those mods and then rinse and repeat. You're gonna need these once you hit 280 power level, so that's very important. Number two, all exotics drop with a legendary mod, which means their power level is artificially inflated by 5 power levels. This will confuse some of you when you're trying to infuse with the exotic, so just keep that in mind. The next one, at 265 there's a soft cap on blue and legendary gear, but once you get higher than 271 power, gear from vendors as well as non-exotic regular engrams will drop 5 power levels lower than your total power level. Luminous engrams should not be acquired before reaching high power levels, and by high power levels I mean roughly about 270. EDZ and Nessus are the best planets for farming heroic public events. The next tip I have, for weapon infusion, you can only infuse with 2 weapons from the same archetype, and the last tip I have is for armor infusion, you can only infuse armor for the same character, meaning you can't infuse a hunter chest piece into a titan chest piece. With that out of the way guys, let's get right into the guide. So right off the bat, I assume a lot of you guys watching this video are past 265 and are stuck probably around 270, 280, but I do want to cover the grind before 265 just for those of you who may be new to Destiny 2 and want to know what the fastest way to level up is. So of course, do the entire campaign, and then once you're done with that, you're just going to want to grind anything and everything except for clan XP, luminous engrams, nightfalls, exotic quest lines, and exotic and / legendary milestones. Those milestones in your director are very important. Make sure to not touch those or any of the other things I mentioned. Basically do anything else that you possibly can to get to 265. That includes heroic public events. You can also do heroic strikes, you can play some crucible, but be mindful, those things do include the milestones, so make sure that you're not completing any of those by accident. I would recommend just grinding public events with buddies. That's the fastest possible way, and you can do that on EDZ or Nessus like I mentioned in the tips earlier. So 265 is the soft cap. Once you get there, you're going to find that it's getting very difficult to level up past there. Now between 265 and 275, depending on your patience, do all the endgame activities until 280. And what I mean by that is then once you reach that 265 to 275 zone, then you can start doing your milestones, you can start doing your clan XP rewards, you can even do the nightfall if you like, and of course the exotic quest lines on the EDZ, which is of course the might and multi-tool. You can do the one on Titan, which is the Rat King, and then of course the one on Nessus, which is the Strum, I believe it is. So yeah, once you're between 265 275, and that of course depends on your patience, you can start doing those things. Now doing all of those milestones and all those other activities should get you up to 280 very easily. If you're not 280, if you're like 1 or 2 power levels too low, I recommend grinding heroic public events and then getting exotic engrams and getting your light level up to 280. But once you're at 280, this is where you can actually make a fairly significant jump very simply. So if you've been buying those random mods from the gunsmith, simply go back to him, and now you'll see that you can actually exchange all the blue mods that you have into legendary ones. Now this is very helpful because you can artificially increase your power level just by putting these legendary mods on your armor and of course on your weapons. It costs 3 blue mods to make 1 legendary one, so by the time you get to 280 and you've spent 100,000 200,000 glimmer, you should have easily like 50 or 100 of those blue mods sitting in your inventory. What you want to do is exchange all of those for legendary mods and then put every single one of those 5+ mods on your weapons and your armor. That's going to take you all the way to probably about 283 or 285. It's important to know that at this moment in time, you should already know which gear you're going to be using in the raid, so make sure to put those legendary mods on things that are going to help you and your team out. That's the one thing that I absolutely have to recommend. At this point, you'll be around 283 or 285 power. What you want to do is complete any other endgame activities that you have left on your director. This includes, like I mentioned earlier, these exotic quest lines. You can also do the clan XP things, the Nightfall, and then of course, if you can manage with a solid team, go ahead and try the prestige version of the Nightfall. It is doable at 285. There are teams out there who have done it, but I have to warn you, it is very difficult. After you've done everything that you can possibly do to level up your power level, the only way of leveling on that character is to grind for exotic engrams. Like I mentioned earlier, the best method being heroic public events. Just remember, you can pop a fire team medallion for extra XP and better chances at legendary and exotic gear. You can buy these fire team medallions for only 50 silver at the Eververse Trading Company. Of course, this does not require you to purchase anything. You can actually get these from the bright engrams when you decrypt them, so you should have a good amount of those, and you can go ahead and buy like 4 or 5 of those medallions. Now also, one thing that a lot of people don't know, and I'm actually surprised by this, is that you can actually stack these medallions twice. Now you can give yourself one of these medallions, you can pop it for you and your team, and then a teammate can also pop one for himself and for you. So it can stack up to 2 times, but mind you, it will not stack 3 times. Finally, the last thing you can do if you have lots of time on your hands and want to go for the world's first attempt at the raid, you can actually make another character of the same class. You then would only have to complete the campaign, and again, you can do this in a speed run like fashion and transfer all of your armor and weapons to that character and instantly become that same power level once you get to level 20. It's very simple. So if you have a 285 Titan, you make another Titan, run through the campaign, get to level 20, transfer all of that gear over. That includes the weapons and the armor, and automatically your second Titan will become a 285. Now, why do you do this? Well, from there you simply want to complete all the endgame activities to push yourself from 285 all the way up to 300 plus. So this includes, again, grinding through those exotic quest lines, of course, doing those clan XP rewards, getting those luminous engrams, doing the Nightfall, basically anything that you can get your hands on to get you past 285 and all the way up to 300. Some are taking this to an absolute extreme and have made 3 of the same characters and are sitting at 300 plus power level. This means they're going to be more than well equipped to handle the raid as soon as it launches. At the time of making this video, I have only made 1 character, and that character is power level 285. I've basically used all the steps in this video to get to this level, so you do know that it works. The only activities I have not completed is the prestige version of the Nightfall, and of course the raid and Trials of the 9, which are not coming out anytime soon. At the time of making this video, we're still very early on in Destiny 2. Now, of course, I will have a video on my attempts of the prestige version of the Nightfall up, maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning, depending how it goes. And of course, I plan on making my second and third Titan today and getting my light to around 300 on my main character. I'm then going to delete the duplicate Titans that I made for the other character before the raid. It's very much a grind, but I plan on running through the story a total of 5 times before the raid drops. But that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you learned something, and hopefully this really helps you guys out. I want to see everybody at a very high power level before the raid drops, and I wish you all a lot of luck when the raid comes out. Thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like as it supports the channel. Subscribe for more daily Destiny 2 content. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all later. Peace.